Two American-built Bradley fighting vehicles have engaged and destroyed a T-90 tank in the conflict in Ukraine. The United States of America donated somewhere in the vicinity of 150 of these vehicles, it might be more at this point, in an effort to assist the Ukrainian war effort. Now this is very interesting because the Bradley fighting vehicle is not a tank. It's not a tank. And the T-90 is a tank. And it's a very good tank, or so Russia says. At the end of this video, I'm going to let you know what I think about the T-90 a little bit, okay? As always, throughout the video, please comment, tell me what you think. Do not wait until the end of the video to comment, and do not wait until you scroll away from this video. Just prattle your little fingers on the keyboard. Okay, comment and tell me what you think. I want your unsolicited opinion, and I'm probably the only person on earth that's ever going to ask you for it. The Bradley fighting vehicle was named after U.S. General Omar Bradley, okay? A notable individual. We have to go all the way back to the late 1950s to get kind of the first variant of it. The Bradley fighting vehicle was designed with the intense European conflict in mind, right? That's where the first kind of variants evolved from. Every variant of it, every iteration we've seen has been fairly good, but the modern Bradley fighting vehicle has been absolutely exceptional. Anybody that's actually spent any amount of time in a Bradley knows that it is a love-hate relationship with those vehicles. They're an extremely tight fit. All right, online it says they'll fit 3+ people. And I'm telling you, as soon as you get more than 3, things are getting pretty tight. But depending on the variant, things inside the vehicle will change and you can fit more. They can be used for quite a few different tasks that you'll need to accomplish on the battlefield. The Bradley fighting vehicle is manufactured by BAE Systems, B-A-E, not like the Bay that you like to smooch on the weekends, because that's the only time we get with them, because that's the only time the military gives us off. Nearly 7,000 of these vehicles have been built. I was actually in a unit for a while that had Bradleys in them. And when you can get them moving, I mean, they do some good stuff. To say that they don't move quickly, I mean, they don't. You can probably jog as fast as one, but once it gets where it's going, it does its things pretty good. It's equipped with a 25mm M242 Bushmaster. That's its main armament. It can also be equipped with 2 anti-tank missiles and then a 7.62 machine gun. That's its secondary armament. Now again, I want to emphasize the fact that the Bradley fighting vehicle is not a tank, okay? It's not a tank. It's not equipped like a tank, it doesn't have the punch that a tank has, and yet here we have 2 American-built Bradley fighting vehicles piloted by Ukrainians destroying a T-90. I can't say KI double hockey sticks because every single platform will nerf this video if I do. So instead of saying KI double hockey sticks, I'm going to say, okay? That's what I'm going to say in place of KI double hockey sticks. I'm going to say 2 Bradleys, T90 tank. Okay? No, I'm not trying to take it, well, never mind. All right, the T90 tank is the 3rd generation of tank of this type for Russia. It replaced the T72 and T80 tanks. Now, I believe the T72s and the T80s are still in use, but just significantly smaller amounts. This is one of Russia's primary assets. One of its primary capabilities that it can employ in warfighting are its T90 tanks. And they are world-renowned tanks. They're extremely good. It has composite armor or explosive reactive armor. It's got a 125mm smoothbore cannon, and it's got a 1,000 horsepower engine or somewhere around a 1,000 horsepower engine. Now, I know there's a bunch of you nerds out there that are gonna pick apart everything I say about these vehicles, okay? I'm not a freaking engineer. Okay, I don't do these things. I'm learning on the fly. I actually know a decent amount about Russian stuff, Russian capabilities, Russian tactics, Russian equipment, because I've been studying Russia since about 2019 when I went through the United States Army's Advanced Leader course. That's how you make E6 in the United States Army. And I'll tell you, Russia is an artillery-centric military, okay? Russia wants volume of artillery and really volume of everything, volume of people, of systems. It just wants to throw a lot at objectives and then kind of hope that it achieves what it's going after. The T90 can also employ a bunch of fancy tech like thermal imaging and a bunch of other stuff, and even guided missiles. The tank can employ guided missiles. Again, I don't think anybody thought that the conflict in Ukraine with Russia was going to play out the way it did. I think it all started with the Ukrainian president and his unwillingness to leave in the face of conflict. That invigorated his people, invigorated his military, and has allowed them to push back on a much more advanced, well-equipped, and large enemy force. Now it's funny, in the interviews with the Bradley drivers, the Bradley crews, the one that actually engaged the Russian tank said that he learned where to shoot it from video games. He actually he learned what the weak spots were on the tank from video games. And I think that's pretty funny. It's a testament to how accurate video games are these days. But it's pretty incredible that he was able to stay cool under pressure, because I don't think a lot of people could do that when they're staring down one of the most fierce and advanced tanks in the world. I'm gonna play you guys just a little bit of that interview to the side of me so you can see it. Pretty interesting. It's truly a testament to these crews' ability to really display tactics, to utilize terrain, to take on a more significant enemy force. One tank versus two Bradleys. I mean, depending on the crew of the tank, it should have been a relatively easy matchup. I'm going to tell you guys a little bit of a funny story about me in the old Bradley fighting vehicle. So, back when Lieutenant von Letkeman was Private von Letkeman, I put my full kit on as I was instructed to. But unfortunately, I was also instructed to put on a Camel Back. Okay, so I put on my Camel Back with my kit, and I looked like a real nerd. Okay, and you know, the Camel Back has a little bit of a handle on it, on the back of the Camel Back. And so when Private von Letkeman was trying to get out of the Bradley, the Camel Back handle got caught, and Private von Letkeman fell backwards. Okay, and then Private von Letkeman's Kevlar, because Private von Letkeman was wearing a Kevlar, right? Why would he not be? Why we wear Kevlars when we are in, around, or even thinking about military vehicles or activities. The lip of the Kevlar, kind of right here, it got caught on the hatch of the Bradley. And so then I was stuck, because my Camel Back was stuck and my Kevlar was stuck, and I kind of sounded like this, and I was saying like, please somebody help me, I'm stuck right now and I'm afraid I'm gonna die. And then I felt like I was getting a little bit lightheaded, and I think I was, because the collar of my IOTV was pushing on my throat, and then I think that's why I sounded like Donald the Duck or Meatwad from Aqua Teen Hunger Force. I don't know, but all I know is that I really think the Bradley's cool, but I get kind of nervous when I'm trying to get in and out of it. I'm a reasonably broad guy. They call me the fridge, okay? And so yeah, I was like bumping my shoulders when I get out of it, but the Bradley has a ramp on the back, and so I will never ever again be around a Bradley or get in a Bradley. I'm using the ramp, okay? I'm using the ramp, not using the hatch. All right, so I told you guys at the end of the video I was going to tell you what I think of the T90, and quite frankly I think the T90 is overhyped, okay? And I'm not saying it's overhyped because it's poorly equipped, poorly designed, anything like that. But when you have a military like Russia's, where it's largely conscript driven, morale may be low, you may not see troops that are invested in the systems like American troops are. If the troops are not invested in incredibly advanced systems, they're not going to learn those systems, and they're not going to know how to best employ them. On top of that, we don't know what the training of Russian conscripts looks like. We don't know how the training is. We don't know what the training plan is, or how often they're training, how often they're even getting to touch the systems. It's not that uncommon. There's so many things that we have to do. There's so many systems that we have to employ that it just is what it is. Some things kind of slip by the wayside. Yeah, so basically the two Bradleys, right, they kind of, I mean, they didn't stay close together, they spread apart, and they were both able to engage in the most effective manner, right? And that's kind of what you need when you're talking about a system like a tank. It's almost never advantageous to put groups of things or people together on the battlefield, right? We make sure that we're spread out so that way one system being destroyed doesn't cause damage to another system, okay? The Bradley's got, from what I understand, a mobility kill, which is not the total destruction of a vehicle. They got some sort of mobility kill on the Russian T90, and then a drone was able to it. Okay, the drone finished it. You know what? From what I understand, though, from what I've heard, I think that the drone operator was actually in the Bradley or extremely close by. And so that is a pretty cool display of synchronization that we're not really used to on the modern battlefield, but I think it will become more common as drones become more common. But yeah, I think the Russian T90 is overhyped, not because of the equipment itself, but because of the troops that are there using it. I mean, it is what it is, you know? I don't think that they are as effective as they could be with it.